June 16, 2025. Mental Health Israel. Seek help, end the stigma. On the news this afternoon. Analyst urges NDDC to prioritize human capital development in Niger Delta. NDLEA arrest businessmen with cocaine at Port Harcourt Airport. Benue State Governor says federal government's intervention reduced siege in 17 local governments to 3. Appeal Court nullifies final forfeiture of former CBN Governor Emefiele's properties, orders retrial. On the foreign scene, Israel says it has full control over Tehran's skies as both sides continue strikes. I'm Ifechuku Monyele with the news. An analyst, Mr. Fineface Dumnamene, has charged the Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC to intensify efforts in developing human capital across the 9 Niger Delta states. Speaking on Nigeria for FM's Morning Crossfire while assessing the Commission's impact at 25 years, Dumnamene stressed the need for NDDC to extend its development gestures to secondary schools in the regions.
I think they need to improve because there is no agency, commission or government that will say that what I have done is perfect, what I have done is okay, we don't need to improve, we need to sustain. There are areas that could be sustained from what you are doing, but area of improvement is always there. Looking at the project and what they are doing, I think they have done a lot of infrastructural projects. They are also into human capital development. I do that. We also expect them to extend the same gesture to some secondary schools across the local government areas across the 9 states so that they can also feel their impact. And they should do more to go into human capital development. Those things are ongoing. They need to do more to develop human capital and they are able to touch the lives of the people.
Dumnamene also recommended that the Commission create a platform where residents can submit project needs in their communities, which the NDDC can then review and implement.
But the NDDC is an interventionist agency, and I would have expected them to keep part of their budget open, whereby they even flow radio programs. If there is any project in your community that you think needs immediate intervention to fix, please come forward and put it out. And when people will call in to put out those projects, then they will look at it, send people to go and verify, and then they carry out that project. That window should be open. They need to sit down on a table every fiscal year to say, this is what we plan to do. Have you planned to do anything here? So we leave that area. Okay, we have planned to do here. You leave that area so that the resources will be properly used.
He further criticized the Commission for being overly centralized and called for the appointment of community liaison officers to serve as a bridge between residents and the authorities.
I think the NDDC is currently over-centralized. The average person cannot have access to the NDDC. You write letter to the NDDC, you don't get responses. And you want to reach any of them, it's difficult to reach them. So I think the NDDC should be restructured in such a way that they have community liaison officers. Maybe they do it at ward level, that we take feedback from the people in each of the wards, collate them to the state office that analyzes the data gathered from that perspective, and then they present it to the national office to look into. So some of these things can help. The NDDC officials should also make themselves available to the people because they are representing the people and they are not representing themselves. They should try and make access to the commission easier.
In another development, the Nigerian Navy says it has destroyed 5 illegal refineries in the Obebe-Mandoni local government area of River State as part of a crackdown on crude oil theft and illegal bunkering. A statement by the commander of the Nigerian Navy Ship Pathfinder, Commodore Kajethen Anyako, said the operation uncovered 62 ovens, 21 reservoirs and 55 dugout pits containing about 50,000 liters of stolen crude oil, along with 83,000 liters of illegally refined diesel and 20,000 liters of kerosene. The statement said no arrests were made as the suspect fled before the Navy arrived. The Navy said its commitment to protecting Nigeria's economy and energy security. In the meantime, a 44-year-old businessman has been arrested for attempting to smuggle cocaine to Iran at the Port Harcourt International Airport, Omagwa. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, who made this known, gave the name as Ezemokwe Chukwuebuka Christian. He was caught while boarding a Qatar Airways flight to Tehran via Doha. A body scan showed he had ingested drugs. Under observation, he excreted 53 wraps of cocaine. Christian admitted he has been trafficking drugs between West Africa and Iran for for 2 years. Now to Benue State, where Governor Hyacinth Alia has refuted claims that the federal government has not come to the aid of the people of Benue State to defend them. On Saturday night in Yelewata and Daudu communities in Guma local government area, herdsmen killed several people, including children, in their homes. But speaking on Channels Television, Governor Alia said 17 local government out of 23 were under siege, and then it was fought down to 9 local government, and then to 6, and now to 3. He said it came down because of the full support it got from the federal government. Earlier, Governor Hyacinth Alia said 59 people were killed in Yelewata, where suspected herdsmen from Nasarawa State attacked the border town. Addressing journalists at the government house, Alia said the figures are based on physical headcount by security agencies working with families of those killed.
When I say the official figures we have include those who are right on the ground, the DSIs, the military, and the police. Then we also try to do some head counts. As we speak, the official reporting we have all received, and we compare notes. And the official figures, all security heads, was 59 with the head counts, with enlistment of the affected families and individuals.
Governor Alia also gave some credits to his Nasarawa State counterpart Abdullahi Sule, who shared some intelligence on the killings, which also left one woman dead on the Nasarawa axis. The governor gave the details when he received a report from the panel of inquiry on the militia's activities in the Sankera axis. He also spoke on the next line of action.
Now that the report is in, we would move very quickly to set up a 5-man panel to produce a white paper that would take up the recommendations in the report. So the report, and particularly the 5-man panel that would produce the white paper, would enable us now to know who the culprits are, to know who the sponsors are, to identify the victims, and to see where justice would be applied.
Also, Pope Leo XIV offered prayers for the victims for justice and peace to prevail over tension.
14 giugno, nella città di Yelewata, nell'area amministrativa locale di Guma, nello stato di Benue, in Nigeria, si è verificato.
Still on this, special security forces are now in Benue State. The combined security team is made up of intelligence agencies, the police, and the military. President Bola Tinubu mandated them to take control of the security operations. A statement by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, said the latest news of killings in Benue State is depressing and must not be allowed to continue. He said enough is now enough. On Sunday, aggrieved youth protested the persistent killings and other forms of violence in the state, blocking highways in Makurdi, the state capital. The protesters, who converged on the Wurukum roundabout in the town, urged the federal government to save the state from bandits, arsonists, and other unknown gunmen. They also urged security agencies to redouble their efforts to ensure that all displaced people return to their ancestral homes and continue with their normal lives. Now, their spokesman, Brahms Ikwan, said the state has been under siege for a long time, adding that the government's response has been slow. The police dispersed the protesters with tear gas after they refused to allow the Deputy Governor Sam Ode and the Commissioner of Police Emenari Ifeanyi to address them. Meanwhile, some Yelewata residents took social media influencer Very Dark Man on a tour of the crime scene. Now, his videos showed charred bodies of children in what they say was an attack that killed at least 200 people. A resident spoke on this.
Then the husband just came nowhere. They knew very well that the police station are there and that they are wearing arms. Knowing that, okay, they have attacked them fully there. Then another group was down here without the notice of the policemen. Then they started opening the door from one door to another. They were with many weapons. They break the door while entering into the room. they'll pour the fuel and then light fire.
He said the youth of the community had to wade in during the attack.
We did not believe that such will happen in our own area, such will happen in our own town, because we were thinking that government is there for us. But around 10:45 p.m., there was no security to come to our aid. It is our community youth that stood up for this. We were hopeless. From 10:45 p.m., it started. Then it was around 2 o'clock. These people did what they want to do.
Coming up next, appeal court nullifies final forfeiture of former CBN Governor Emefiele's properties. Orders retrial. Stay with us.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
You're welcome back, and now the rest of the news. Report says notorious terrorist leaders in Katsina State have surrendered and released 16 hostages, including 7 women and 9 children, in exchange for amnesty. The Nigerian Army said the development was part of a surrender and disengagement initiative under Operation Fage Fasan Yama. The terrorists, including figures like Kamulu Buzaru and Dogo Baidu, pledged to abandon banditry and embrace peace. The surrendered weapons are now in army custody, and the freed hostages have been handed over to local authorities. In another development, the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, says internet fraudsters, popularly known as Yahoo boys, are bringing national shame to the country. Olukoyede made this known during a media briefing today at the agency's headquarters in Abuja. According to him, Yahoo boys have given every Nigerian the opportunity to be seen as a clean person before immigration officers around the world. The EFCC chairman said fraudsters are involved in banditry and kidnapping when their unsuspecting victims do not cooperate. He also noted that they were involved in laundering money for politically exposed persons in government or out of government. And now the Court of Appeal in Lagos State has overturned the final forfeiture order issued on assets owned by the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele. On November 1st, 2024, the judge of a federal high court in Lagos State, Deinde Dipeolu, ordered the permanent forfeiture of monies, including $2.045 million, 7 choice landed properties, and the 2 share certificates of Queensdorf Global Fund Limited Trust belonging to Emefiele to the federal government. The assets were said to be reasonably suspected to have been acquired with proceeds of unlawful activities. Dissatisfied with the High Court's decision, Emefiele, through his counsel Olaleko Ojo, challenged the final forfeiture order. In the appeal, Emefiele raised 5 issues for determination, including a question of whether the trial judge adequately evaluated the totality of the affidavit evidence before granting the EFCC's motion for the final forfeiture. And now we move to business. The Petroleum Product Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, PetroOne, says the Dangote refinery's forward integration adoption could lead to a monopoly in disguise. Recall that on 15 June, Dangote Refinery said it would begin the nationwide distribution of diesel and petrol on 15 August. In a statement today, PetroOne's National Public Relations Officer Joseph Obele said the development could also pose a significant job loss threat to Nigeria. While in entertainment, veteran comedian Ali Baba has expressed concerns about the lack of professionalism among some Nigerian comedians. In an interview, he said he believes that certain comedians, particularly 3 prominent ones, lack decorum and often cross boundaries with their jokes. Ali Baba shared an incident where a comedian he had sent to a corporate event made an embarrassing joke about a plus-size wife of the company's chairman. According to Ali Baba, some comedians prioritize shock value over intelligence and respect, which can damage their reputation and the industry as a whole. And now in sports, Real Madrid are hoping to snap up Liverpool defender Ibrahima Konate on a free transfer next summer when the Frenchman's contract is due to expire. Israel says it has full aerial operational control over the Iranian capital Tehran 4 days after launching strikes on the country. It says its air force carried out a wave of strikes overnight, while Iranian media reports new attacks in the west of the country today. Iran hit Israel with a wave of missiles overnight, with some penetrating the Iron Dome defense system. The number killed in Israel since Friday has risen to 24. Many Israelis felt the country's air defense system was impenetrable, a feeling that has now changed. Stories. An analyst has urged the NDDC to prioritize human capital development in the Niger Delta. The NDLEA has arrested a businessman with cocaine at the Port Harcourt airport. Benue State Governor says federal government's intervention reduced the siege in 17 local governments to 3. Appeal Court has nullified the final forfeiture of former CBN Governor Emefiele's properties and has ordered the retrial. On the foreign scene, Israel says it has full control over Tehran's skies as both sides continue strikes. The news was edited by Martha Okiri. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Moyele. Many thanks for listening.